are you doing, BCH Podcast Nation? How you doing? If you don't know my name already, I say it all the time. My name is Kassandra Gordon. I am the host. This is a solo episode talking about being inspired by a film. I don't usually get inspired by films. I am a film junkie. I watch films all the time. But the film I want to talk about, which I think will help a lot of Black creatives or just creatives in general, is the King Richard film. Okay, so if you don't know already, it's not some Tudor medieval time film. Is actually about Serena or Venus Williams and Serena Williams' dad, who had this vision for them to be tennis superstars. Tennis global superstars, the greatest of all time as sports people. And how Venus Williams, her experience of opening doors for Black people, Black girls like me, doing things in an impossible industry where it's dominated by rich white people. Can I take any analogies? Can I take any inspiration from that? Especially in the jewelry business, where I'm just like, rah, it's a very expensive business to be, but I'm going to make good jewelry and I'm going to make it. Okay, building this jewelry empire. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, no matter what circles you are, there is finding a way, and just taking from that experience and looking at their stories of like they come from, Crompton, people inside the ghetto or deprived areas of LA, and how their dad, and their mom worked low paid jobs to make sure that their daughters fulfilled their dreams or the family dreams and get to greatness. And it's just had loads of reflections. And I feel like it's important to share some of the reflections to help you to go on. But before I tell you the 3 main reflections, I just want to, in my intro, to talk about why this film really impacted me. Because I think doing this Black Creative podcast, it's about your vision. It's about resilience, not having self-doubt, and just opening doors or letting people open doors for you. And it's not that easy because people think that you're crazy. And sometimes if you're not in the entertainment business, if you don't have friends or family, if you don't have a big social network, you're like, how am I going to crack this? How am I going to achieve what I want to achieve? And this film for me is helped me. I came out of the cinema like in tears. I was like, bruh, I feel like the film spoke to me. When people go to a Drake or Jay-Z concert and they feel like, or a Trey Songz concert, I will not go to one again because it's just long. I don't know them to beat me up because these girls can be crazy. And they feel like that artist just singing to them, and it's like that artist is their boyfriend or their husband, and they have this kind of weird fandom. So if you take out the weird fandom and feels like, though that movie spoke to me, like I didn't really have very supportive parents, especially in, supporting me in the arts, My mom's aspiration for me to marry a rich doctor. That is I'm still waiting for that to come true. Jokes. So moving forward, to keep this short and succinct, it's just like I wish I had parents who had belief in me, because a lot of how I got where I am in my life is the decisions what I've made as an adult and in childhood, and I feel like I would have got a lot further. Now that sounds like victimhood mentality, but there's a lot of kids who do not have moms and dads and people like, do what you need to do, do what you need to do, do what you need to do what you need, be in the arts. Don't have that, so they have to find their way. And that's what I feel like the Black Creative Handbook podcast is so important for this community, to have people who are going through the similar things, similar as you, with your family. When people say don't do things, or you don't get your invoice paid, or someone pays your invoice late, or you're doing a funding for arts and you get let down, like we got you. We want you to be successful and know that you can make it in the creative industries and in entrepreneurship. We got you. Do you understand? We know where you're coming from, because sometimes people don't tell the truth. What you always see on TV is the polished version, it's the iceberg. You don't see below. We are below the iceberg until we see the top of the iceberg and see your success, okay? And even when you're successful, you still have the below the iceberg. You think Beyonce and them lot don't have, you know, crap going on below the iceberg? You know what I mean? Hope that's useful. Anyway, so the 3 things that I really found really useful to share in this community. And if you haven't watched the film, watch the film. Just watch it. Even if you wait for Netflix when it comes out, just watch the film, because it's a very inspirational film. And the acting is on point. Okay. So number 1, it's important to always have a vision. Now, I had a debate with my partner about vision or a plan, which one is more better. But the vision is better than a plan. You need to know where you're going. You cannot just say, okay, we're going to France, we've got to take a plane or a train or whatever, but at least you're going to France. You know you're going somehow. You know, there's some water between England and the channel between France. You have to get there. And there's only so much places you're getting there. So the vision has to be greater, because if you don't have a big vision, it can't open doors. I'll give you an example of having a really good vision. So like the documentary which I've made, I just had a pitch deck and I just literally had a chat with somebody. Never met this person in my life. And the documentary just happened. And they're working with me for free. Just like, I never even like, I just said, this is what I want. This is my little pitch deck. This is what I'm kind of working on. This is it. And people's like, can I help you? Just having a vision. And people love to see people when they're passionate about things and having a vision. And sometimes in this world, people want to dumb your vision, like you can't do it, and poo on people's, I'm going to say shit, but you know, poo on people's visions. Don't let that happen, man. Or like, even if you think it's crazy, you only know if it's crazy or not. Number 2, what was really, really helpful is, what did I find? Sorry, I just had a mind blank. But what I really found really helpful and really wanted to share with you was to make sure you write it down. Because what I noticed, what King Richard, or with Richard Williams, he wrote down his plan. He wrote down his vision. He knew his vision for his daughters before they were even born. And he was consistent with it. He was consistent with it. Number 3, how to articulate your vision with conviction. How to articulate your vision with conviction. Have a think about that. Let that sink in. Because that's one thing I really struggle with. Like, I want to do this, but sometimes I'm not saying it like it's going to happen. And it is going to happen. If sometimes you have to believe what people don't believe. It just has to happen. And I love how he did it. He's always talking about it every day, talking to reporters, talking to people, how great his children were. And he could back it up. He could back it up. So I know that is a bit different, but I feel like in this community it's good to share things and people to see you and to help people. And I hope it helps you all. Please, I know this community is growing, to just, let me know about the podcast, interact with me. I know people, I feel like I'm in a secret relationship with all of you. I really do, because I see the stats and I see how much people listen, and I see the ratio, how much people DM me or talk to me in person about it. But it feels like I have a secret boyfriend. It feels like I really feel like I have a secret boyfriend. Like, I have this boyfriend. I'm not seeing the so it really helps me. I know this, you might see it's a new platform and going on for a whole year, but just show a little love on the Instagram or whatever platform. I think most people see it. If I look on the stats, most people, it's half on Anchor and half on Spotify. So if on Spotify, show some love. So yeah, thank you very much for everything, and speak soon next week. Always upload on a Monday. This is the Black Creative Handbook with your host, who else? Kassandra Lauren Gordon.